Hello again my friends, this is the boy and his dog, and welcome to the channel where I play, rank and review every game released on the Evercade, old and new. In today's episode we continue our deeper dive of the first Duke Nukem collection with their second game, Duke Nukem 2 Remastered. Let's get stuck in.
I am back.
During a TV interview to promote his new book, Why I'm So Great, the Duke is kidnapped by aliens hell-bent on conquering the Earth and draining his brain. It's not long before the Duke manages to break out of his cell, ready to kick some alien butt. Duke Nukem 2 was a 2D multi-directional scrolling platform game developed and published by Apogee Software and released for MS-DOS in 1993. 2 years after the original and 3 years before the most famous Duke Nukem 3D and many years before the infamous Duke Nukem Forever. Today we're looking at Duke Nukem 2 Remastered, built from the ground up by Blaze Entertainment and released exclusively for the Evercade in 2023. As mentioned in my previous review of the first Duke Nukem Remastered, the amount of attention these remastered titles have been given is a hell of a lot. They really have done such a fine job. I won't go over it all again here as it was all said in the last review, but bravo Blaze, bravo. And I will say that the bigger play area makes a bigger difference here than the last game. It was definitely needed. So I've mentioned what's the same, but let's take a look at what's different. Visually, there's a lot more detail here than in the first title, especially with the Duke himself. What's nice is you have all your moves from the start, like the larger jump where you roll forward in the air, and being able to grab and hang from certain ledges and crawl yourself across. We now have super weapons to grab in each level that have a limited use before they run out, but they are great fun while you have them. There's a laser weapon, one that shoots through walls and destroys anything on the other side, rockets. There's this really cool apeshit gun that only decimates anything in front. If you aim it beneath you, the power of each shot can lift yourself higher up into otherwise unreachable areas, as long as you have enough shots to reach the heights you need. Structurally, this sequel changes it up slightly. It's not just about grabbing coloured keys, though keys are more often than not involved. Some levels have you just trying to get from one end to the other, others have you destroying a certain amount of satellite dishes before you can leave, others have you taking control of a cool hover vehicle with a powerful weapon you can just fly through the stage blowing the shit out of everything. Very satisfying. And others still have you exploring a crumbling ruin where shots of your weapon can bring down, in part or whole, sections of a building, opening up pathways through and blocking others. And as before, the further you get into the game, the more complex and interesting the level design gets. Duke Nukem 2 now has 4 episodes, so one more than before, but only 8 levels each. The levels as a whole are much bigger than before, with the 8th level being solely a boss battle. And these are definitely an improvement on the bosses from before. They may be a bit simpler in design, but they feel more involved than before, and the bosses are big and chunky and just feel more boss-like. The level challenges have returned, but are rather more involved this time round. Shooting all the gun turrets sounds easy, with a conventional weapon they just spin when shot, so you have to have a more powerful weapon to take them all out. The dual layers have been replaced with Nukem, and as before, the further you get in the game, the more back and forth you need to go to collect the layers in order. Now there's also the merchandise collectathon. You basically have to grab every single item in the level, not including health, and any and every weapon power up too. And we round out with a much trickier here, no hit challenge. But that's not all that's changed. Now we have 3 difficulty settings: Child's Play, Groovy and Hail to the King. What's more interesting is, as I said, just as before there are challenges to complete in each level, but now there are separate charts for each difficulty, and all difficulties count towards your 100% completion. So to get 100% you've got to finish all challenges on all levels on all difficulties. Oh, it's like dog tag collecting in Metal Gear Solid 2 all over again. I love it. So that's a hell of a lot more to do than the previous title, and the game is fun enough that it doesn't feel like a chore. Well, to me anyway. In the end, and as before, this is an easy to pick up and play title. I would say easier to pick up than the first, but it definitely becomes trickier than the first the further you get in. With more interesting level design and variety to keep things fresh, with even more replayability than before, 3 difficulty settings with separate challenge sheets for each, this title will definitely keep you coming back again and again. And another great game for our Duke December journey. Next up, it's time to go 3D and have a meltdown. I hope you're excited to join me for that. And if you've made it here to the end of the episode, thanks ever so much for joining me. Leave a thumbs up or comment if you'd like. Tell me what you think about the Duke's second outing. Either way, I'm just chuffed you poked your head in for a goosey gander. As always, I hope you're having the most awesomest of days, my friends. And until next time, be seeing you.